Just because a preacher is wearing a suit and having a Bible in their hands doesn't mean they are men of God. Any preacher constructing a healing pool in the name of the pool of Bethesda is not of God. Apostle Takim calls them witches and wizards.
We have witches and wizards who have constructed healing pools.
This is a life experience by the pool of Bethesda. I pray for you as you come in here and observe what God is doing. There will be miracles.
And zombies go there to wash.
Some people have been asking, what's so spectacular about this pool? It's just a pool that God has told me to consecrate, and this is an arena of miracles.
It wasn't done for it to be constructed.
I'm not touching anybody, but the God, through the working of signs and wonders by the pool of Bethesda, is doing miracles.
That is clear witchcraft. I don't know what's wrong with people. Is it because the man is holding Bible? That is clear witchcraft. It is not God.
Besides the tabernacle of Moses and the ark, another prophetic act in the Bible is the healing pool. Apostle starts off this video by giving us two major definitions of prophetic acts. With these two meanings of prophetic acts, he explains that which is being demonstrated in the present that will be fulfilled in the age to come. Listen to this.
The next prophetic act in the Bible is the healing pool. The healing pool in the book of John. Are you understanding me? We have witches and wizards who have constructed healing pools, and zombies go there to wash, and they call the healing pool prophetic act. What do we discover from the word as a prophetic act? That which was spoken or demonstrated in time past, that is Bible times, that is being fulfilled in our present time. That which is spoken or demonstrated in the time present, that will be fulfilled in the time future. And I said, in our time now, I will show you the things that have been demonstrated in time present, now in our time, that will fulfill in the age to come. I gave you two definitions of prophetic act. And I said the second one is that which is spoken or demonstrated in a time present. Is that not? Which will be fulfilled in a future time. Which future? The age to come. What is it that God is demonstrating now that will be fulfilled in time past? I wish I have time. That is stirring me to talk about the generation over whom death has no power. What is God demonstrating now? Divine healing, divine health. Say me, divine healing. Say divine health. He is that is why there is still healing of the sick. You see God healing us. That is one thing He's demonstrating now. What is it that will be fulfilled about divine healing and divine health in future, in the age to come? Immortality.
And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, "Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and He will dwell with them, and they shall be His people. God Himself will be with them and be their God, and God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed away." Whenever God heals you, it is a demonstration of an age to come, where there will be immortality. Apostle expounds further.
When God heals you, He's telling you there's an age where you become immortal. Is somebody hearing me? When God heals you of a disease, it's a demonstration in the present time that there's an age that you become immortal, where you will no longer be sick. When God gives you a miracle and tears of joy comes out, God is saying that there's an age where you will cry no more, where there will be no pain. Are you understanding me? Every miracle God is doing now, fixing the devil, giving us deliverance, giving us peace, giving us prosperity, is a demonstration of what will happen in the future when we step into the new heaven and the new earth, where righteousness dwells, where the tabernacle of God will be with men. Let me show you. Go to the book of Revelation quickly. Revelation chapter 21. Now I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth has passed away. Also there was no more sea. Then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. God himself will be with them and be their God, and God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There shall be no more death, no sorrow, no crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former days have passed away. Tell your neighbor, that's where we are going to. I didn't hear you. Say with me, every miracle I experience from Jesus is a present demonstration for a future manifestation. Every miracle I enjoy from Jesus is a prophetic act for a glorious future. When God saves us from premature death, he's saying there's going to be an age where there'll be no more death. When God allows us to live long to fulfill our days, he simply said there's going to be an age where there'll be no more death. In this era, under grace, every miracle from God is a prophetic act for a glorious future.
Every miracle that God is doing in our lives today is a prophetic act pointing to a glorious future in the age to come. Magical acts are not prophetic acts. That should tell you pouring oil in cities for God to sanctify the nation is not a prophetic act. Apostle gives us a story of what happened to his father when he visited a herbalist long time ago to look for riches.
Stop calling magical acts prophetic acts. They are not. Pouring water, pouring oil. Some people have gone so demonic that they even bring a pool of water in the church. I mean, in a bowl. In those days, that when my father was not, in those days in the early 80s, 81, 82, when my father was looking for how to make money, I was told that he went to a place and they put a bowl of water for him to wash. As a suffering police officer, as he washed his hand in the water became red. They now said that he should go and bring his child. My father loved his children. He jumped and ran away. I said, my child. He now came back home breathing. That night we didn't know. Later we discovered. He came and gathered all of us and put on his laps and was praying. He just sat down, all of us on his laps. My father loved children. We are 14 from different, forget about the source, but we are 14. You get my point? It doesn't matter. Are you understanding me? Some of it doesn't matter. The source is not important, but we are 14. So he put all of us, the few of us available, because that's were in the village. Me, I was very small, like a grasshopper. Carry my younger one, gather us. None of my children would die. Nothing will happen. We will remain poor, and let us be poor. Instead of me to give my children, let us be poor. Let us be poor. I prefer being poor with my children than to be rich without them.
Sadly, what was once happening in the witch doctors' shrines is now happening in the so-called churches. But why is that? Simple. The witch doctors who were once in shrines have now transformed to preachers with suits and Bibles in their hands, but using the same demon.
Now we have that thing in church. You go to church, they wash your leg, and the water turn red. You wash your hands. Somebody came to my office saying, it happens here in Nairobi. A prophet, you wash their hand. But this one is chemicals they put. Of course we know it's chemical. And they begin to say, they begin to plant stupid prophecies. That is clear witchcraft. That is clear witchcraft. I don't know what's wrong with people. Is it because the man is holding Bible? That is clear witchcraft. It is not God. It's clear manipulations. Jesus does not carry pool of waters around. The healing pool, it wasn't done for it to be constructed. In the days of the Bible, God was so merciful on Israel that he constructed these prophetic acts for them, especially the healing pool. He knew there was the dark age there was no voice of God on ground, but because of his covenant with Abraham, he had to construct the pool of Bethesda.
At this point, Apostle takes us through the biblical and historical location of the pool of Bethesda as recorded in the Gospel of John chapter 5. He further explains to us what the pool of Bethesda actually represents. That's why no preacher in God's kingdom should construct it.
John chapter 9. Let's go there. John chapter 5, sorry. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. Now let me tell you something about this pool. This pool was actually a pool of mercy. God just decided to show mercy on his people, and it was located near the sheep gate. There's a place called the sheep gate in Jerusalem. Actually, Nehemiah, I think it's either he constructed the sheep gate or he spoke about the sheep gate. Jerusalem had different gates. Now, there's another place of sacrifice in Jerusalem, which this pool is close to. If you look at it, place of sacrifice, the healing pool. If you look at it today, the place of sacrifice is the cross. The healing pool is the grace of God flowing from the cross to us. That is why it's 5 porches. 5 is the number of grace. Is somebody hearing me? So it was planted in a place of sacrifice, and you pass through the sheep gate. We are the sheep of Christ, so pass through the sheep gate. Now there's a place of sacrifice, there's a pool, and that represents there's the cross of Jesus. I have gone to this place. We went to Jerusalem, they show us it's not too far from Calvary. It's close to Calvary where Jesus was crucified. The pool of Bethesda is very close. So you now realize the cross of Jesus represents the place of sacrifice, and the healing pool is the grace of God.
In conclusion, Apostle gives us one more meaning of what this healing pool is in our days. He also tells us that prophetic acts are not supposed to be repeated because whenever they are repeated, the demonic shows up and people start having intercourse with it.
So this prophetic act is not to be repeated. I have said earlier, if you repeat a prophetic act, you invite the demonic. People begin to have intercourse with the spirit of lawlessness. So what is the prophetic act today? What's the message of this act? The healing pool. Apart from being the grace of God that flow from the cross of God, oh my Satalia, the healing pool is an end time church where you step into the power of the cross baptizes you, which is the grace of God. It flows into your life. Are you understanding me?
The devil uses what God has abandoned. In other words, when God uses something and he abandons it, the devil comes in and start using it and use the thing to produce similar miracles it was producing when God was using it. That's what is creating confusion among many Christians who are using oil, water, soil, salt, and mantles and are getting miracles. And their argument has always been, if it is not of God, why did I use the oil, water, mantle and got a miracle? They forget miracles are not a monopoly of God. Even the devil performs signs, miracles, and wonders. Be careful of any preacher who has a physical healing pool. They are sorcerers. Thanks for watching.